with Coach Eric Mangini. Always a good time when Coach is here, as he will tell you. Coach, how about a little Lake show? Check out Lil Wayne sitting in the Lakers virtual fan section last night. For those of you who don't know, Lil Wayne, Coach's favorite rapper. I think he sang at your wedding, right? Tell him, Coach.
Yeah, first of all, I was excited to see him. I haven't talked to him in a while. Second of all, I love this technology. I think it's cool. A little bit frustrated though. I was about 5 rows up in full body paint and never got on. So I'm gonna try again tonight. It just. I
only
think
need to be waist up.
I'm trying.
Thunder up, gentlemen. Check out Amadou Diallo elevating to do that. Wild, how about a little Lakers defense there?
Oh, I'm okay with that. I just want them to get a nice workout and then hang out. Here's a hot take. Ready for this, Nick? I'm done with all sort of acrobatic dunks in the dunk contest. New dunk contest is almost like those punching like strength games at the carnival. Just hardest dunk. That's all I need to see, like Dominique style. Just a plain dunk, hard. That's what I like. I don't need
Jenna,
it's
put it
too
on
much.
the board.
It's too much.
We've got Wild's worst take of the day. Put it on the board.
I was going to say, I'm with you on that one. Rock, paper, scissors. Check out PJ Dozier and Jeremy Grant. They were rock, paper, scissoring to decide who shoots the technical foul free throw. Nick, you seem like a paper guy. I'm definitely rock, but you seem like a paper guy.
Well, I would imagine you have your own favorite of the option in rock, paper, scissors, Jenna, as most bad rock, paper, scissors players do. You've got to look in your opponent's eyes, deep into their soul, and anticipate what they're doing. But now I know you're a rock person, so fair enough. What they need to be doing is doing rock, paper, scissors to figure out who's going to have to guard Michael Porter Jr. in practice. How about him? One of the stories of the bubble. Back-to-back 30 and 10s for the rookie out of this great state of Missouri. Big story in Denver with him.
All right, moving on, talk some football now. The Pats playing with Brady out and Cam in. Many wondering how the new Patriots quarterback's going to mesh with his Hall of Fame coach, Bill Belichick. And before you quit, just fine, Jenna, listen to former Patriot and Panthers defensive tackle Kyle Love weighing in. He said this: I don't feel like Cam can take the pressure of coaches talking down about his play. If he had a bad game in Carolina, the coaching staff wouldn't say much to him because they may have felt he could be a little frail about it or maybe pout. They never really corrected to the point Bill used to correct Tom. Coach Mangini, we'll start with you. You think this is going to be a problem for Cam Newton in Carolina with the Patriots under Bill Belichick?
Yeah, I've said this all along. I said this before they signed him, that from a personality standpoint, it could be an issue. And now we're here, and you're hearing Kyle Love talk about how difficult it is to operate in that system, and it's not for everybody. There's an additional part to this quote where he says specifically that, and I've said this over and over again. When you go to New England, it's a different type of coaching, and everybody is fair game. It's not like certain guys are treated with kid gloves. Everybody gets the same level of coaching, and guys aren't used to that. You've seen it happen with Adalius Thomas. You saw it happen with Michael Bennett. To some degree, you saw it happen with Greg Schiano. It's a system that is different. It's hard. It's hard every single day. And not every person is equipped to deal with that. And it's going to be interesting, assuming Cam is healthy, to see how he does fit into that system and deals with that type of consistent hard coaching.
And so, Coach, here's why, even though this is, you're 100% right, one of the major concerns you raised initially and throughout, here's why I still am not concerned about it. 2 points. One is, to be fair to Cam, Kyle Love is a defensive tackle. And I only say that to say maybe it's true that in the full team meetings with Ron Rivera, Cam wasn't hardly criticized or picked at the way Belichick might do with his players. But Kyle Love has no idea whatsoever what it was like in the quarterback rooms with the quarterback coach, with the offensive coordinator, the type of scrutiny Cam was under. And I would imagine it was quite a bit because his last healthy year in Carolina, he successfully rebuilt his throwing motion. But let's just take this quote at face value. The reason that this is not a concern for me is because the way Belichick coaches is not some state secret. Everyone from Eric Mangini, who was there to see it, to Kevin Wilde's kids, who are now Patrick Mahomes fans, by the way, know that Bill Belichick is a tough son of a gun. That Bill Belichick's going to tell you whether you're Tom Brady or the 53rd guy on the roster, if you stink or not, or if you were bad in that game or on that play. And despite that, Cam chose to go there. And here's one thing we unequivocally know. It wasn't for the money. Cam's got buckets of money. All reports are he's done very well financially, on and off the field, and hadn't spent a ton of it. And they're paying him nothing. So Cam made the affirmative choice to go play for that man. And he's not a dope. And so he knows he's going to be coached differently, and he signed up for it, Coach. So I just want to kick it back to you quickly, Coach. Like, does that resonate with you at all, that even if this is not the way Cam's been coached previously, that maybe he wants to be coached that way? Maybe he knows he needs to be, or he just knows this is the cost of doing business if I'm going to be able to play for New England.
Well, 100%. Everybody knows that it's hard, and everybody thinks that they understand what hard is. It's like running a marathon. You know a marathon's going to be hard, but until you do it, you don't really appreciate how hard it is.
So tell us,
now,
Coach,
the question is whether or not it's. Oh my God, it's so hard. But after my first few, I got used to it. But it's different in New England because it's every day, and even though you may go in with the mindset of this is something I can deal with, it's the question of whether or not you can deal with it day in and day out. And I'm not saying that Cam can't do it. I'm just saying if you're not used to this, it's a pretty big adjustment. And when you've been a star for a long time, and when you're used to one way of dealing with coaching, and suddenly you're thrust into a system that's radically different, it's a shock to the system. And we have seen other good players and good coaches who went in with their eyes wide open not be able to operate in that system successfully.
So, Coach, I want to tell you this story. I don't know if you listened to the entirety of the Allen Iverson Fat Joe interview, but there was a good part in there where Iverson talked about, you haven't heard? Yeah, okay. Iverson talked about Larry Brown, and Larry Brown said, hey, I need you in my office. They come into the office and said, hey, I'm just going to kill you in practice today. I'm just going to destroy you. Anything you do, I'm going to destroy you. And please don't say anything. And Iverson agrees. They okay. They go out to practice, and Larry Brown is just on top of Iverson the entire practice. After practice, Iverson is like losing his mind. He's upset. It's a bad scene. Larry Brown asks the trainer, hey, can you go grab Iverson? Brings him in and sits him down. And Iverson's still furious. He feels like he's been sort of like really, treated unfairly. So Larry Brown apologizes and thanks him. He says, sorry I had to do that, but thank you. Now I have the entire team. Now that they saw me criticize you, now we can run the team together, and no one will ever say anything to me or challenge my authority because I was able to, treat you harshly in practice. And Iverson said, you're a genius. And then they rolled together to the finals. So the question is, long story, is part of Belichick's power the ability to criticize Tom? And since Tom's not there, does Belichick lose any authority?
Yeah, Kevin, tell me the one story you've heard about Bill bringing someone into his office and apologizing for criticizing him, and you won't hear that story, 20 years from now either. And look, that's a more typical way of dealing with criticism or coaching. We call it criticism of coaching of star players, where you give them the heads up, everybody sees it. but players know what's really taking place. And one of the great things about New England is it is an egalitarian system. Everybody is treated the same, and guys appreciate that. Guys respect that. And when Tom Brady was there, and everybody saw that the greatest player of all time was being treated the same way and was being coached hard and was being held to a high level and was accepting it, it made it easier for guys like Randy Moss or anybody else who came in, Corey Dillon, from a different system, to say, okay, well, if he's doing it, I can do it too. But now Cam is in that position that Tom was in, so it's radically different. They've never been in this space before, where the leader, the face of the franchise, the quarterback, now has to suddenly get it used to the way this system has operated at a high level for a long time.
I think that's a brilliant point. And I think the story AI told about Larry Brown, it seems like that is, for not all, but for a lot of great coach-player combos, that's the deal. That's always been the story of Duncan and Pop. Is that Pop would crush Duncan when he needed to, and Duncan would take it like a champ, and so everyone knew if he's after me, he's not playing favorites. So yes, Cam obviously has to, whatever diva ego that all of us have to differing levels, he's going to have to set that aside. But I do think, Coach, it's important to look at this from a different